I want to make another video on why I don't have sex on the first date when I'm dating for a relationship. And I put the camera in this mode because people say like, ooh, I like your dress and all that, and you can't see my dress when the camera is this way. So, okay, I'm just going to be honest. Guys, most of you are not hot enough to fuck on the first date, okay? If I want to fuck for the sake of fucking, you have to be a fucking 10. And I want the sex to be A+. I want your cock hard. I want you to pleasure me. I want you to give me orgasms. I want you to sweep me off my feet. I want you to have a chiseled face and a hot body and to be gorgeous to look at and pleasurable to feel. I want to be turned on and excited. Unless you're a 10 with a lot of dick game, that is not going to happen. Now, I have hooked up with a lot of guys. Where's my book? The Fuck List, on the piano. And I can tell you that the majority of men don't excite me that much in bed. Okay? That's why I made the fuck list. I would fuck these young guys, and if they were worth fucking a second time, I gave them an A. If the sex blew me away. Which in some cases it did. Some guys were really amazing in bed, but they were only amazing in bed once, or maybe twice, not every time. Sometimes a guy who was an A turned into a dud on the second time. Most men were B's or C's, and that could be because they lacked knowledge, they weren't giving me good energy, or we just didn't have a connection. I noticed that when women have feelings for a man and are in love with a man, they automatically like the sex more because of the way they feel about him. So, why I don't want to hook up? Reason number one, unless you're a 10 visually and a 10 in bed, I'm not going to like it. It's going to be a huge fucking disappointment. And the majority of people are not 10s. I'm not a 10. You're not a 10, okay? David Beckham is a 10. I would fuck David Beckham. Maybe. Probably not. He's married, and right now I'm not in that I'm going to fuck you mode. But if I were going to hook up, and when I did hook up, I had a lot of requirements. I wanted a guy who looked a certain way, tall, lean, white, fit, with a job that I liked, who had something going on. So I always asked them what they did for work. So I wanted him to look hot. And so, if you're not hot, like a 10, if you're a 9 or an 8 or a 7, I could have sex with you if I bond with you emotionally so that your looks are not front and center. Unlike a man who can get hard seeing an ass just move across the street or seeing a lady in the bikini, I'm not going to get my pussy wet seeing you walk or looking at your face. I'm just not, okay? However, I'm very visual, so I just don't think most men are that hot for me to be like, I want to jump those bones. Okay, so you as a man probably feel that way about more women than I feel about men, and that's why you guys will want sex right away. Because women are beautiful. Guys are not beauty objects, okay? So unless you're a 10, you have to bring something else to the table. Your personality. I have to be able to bond with you emotionally, and I'm willing to date 7s and 8s and 9s and see if I develop this emotional closeness to want to fuck you. All right. And I think that's what turned the other guy off the other night. He was not that good looking. And I said, I would have sex with the guy if he was a 10, calendar model, maybe. But otherwise, I need time to get to know the man. I guess he didn't like that. He wanted someone to want him right away. And that leads me to point 2. This gentleman is in his 50s. If he's dating women in their 50s, I can't imagine. Unless these women unless they're women who think guys in their 50s are super hot, that they want to fuck them on the first date, which I just don't think they are. They might have less judgment or be less visual than I am. They might be less visual than I am. However, I think there are also women who could having sex on the first date because they want the guy to like them, or they're super needy. I don't know, because even in that book, The Erotic Silence of the American Housewife, like a lot of women that have affairs do it with men that they know. They're not doing it with strangers they just met, usually, except on occasion. Usually people are having sex with someone they already know. It's someone they know from work or from the gym, or, they've been around. Like, sex between strangers is really not that common. And I don't really want to have sex with strangers because, like I said, the chances of the sex being good are extremely small. The chances of the sex being good are extremely limited. I have had sex with thousands of men. Even with my clients, there are only a few men. I would say 3 to 5% of men blow me away in the bedroom, where I'm like, I would fuck this guy again. I would fuck this guy for free. Okay? They have to have good dick game. They have to be really dominant and sensual and passionate and care about my pleasure. And a lot of men don't. They're overweight. They don't have hard erections. They don't make me come. They lay on their backs most of the time because they're overweight and not in shape. Now, I don't mind it if they're clients, but remember, this is about a relationship. Okay, so first of all, I went over the physical attributes. I went over the quality of the sex. Let's go into the other thing. Do I even like you enough to get close to me? If I'm just having sex, I don't really care if I like you. I don't care, what kind of person you are. Just treat me good on the date, or be a client. You just have to show up for the hour or 2 hours or 3 hours, or the couple hours we spend every month, or the one time we're hooking up. However, if I'm looking for a relationship, do I want to bond with you in that way? What kind of person are you? Because now I'm looking for a relationship. I want to know a little bit more. Are you putting on a facade? What kind of person are you? Do you care how I feel? How do you respond if there's an argument or disagreement? What kind of relationship do you have with your children? There are a lot of guys that have horrible relationships with their children. How do you get along? Are you a people pleaser? Are you self-expressed? Are you trying to own me, control me? Do my kids like you? Does my grandson like you? Is your house clean? Do I like your house? Could I see myself living in your house? Do we like to cook together? Are you a night person and I'm a morning person? Like, how do we get along? Do I like your energy? Are you a happy person, or do you need things constantly to be happy? Are you calm inside? Like, what kind of man are you? Are you consistent? Do you show up? Are you interesting? Do you have stuff going on? I don't want to, when it comes to a relationship, the sex is a part of the relationship. So I want to explore the relationship component first before I become sexual, because I don't want to have sex with some guy and then find out that, his kids don't even like him and his house is a mess and I don't even want to ever see myself living there. So more factors come into play for that. And so that's a second thing. Are you generous? Are you stingy? What kind of sex do you like to have? Do we vibe sexually? I'd want to know that too, so I don't want to wait too long. But the kind of person you are definitely comes into it. And I will say, I've had a lot of negative experiences that have gotten me to this point. If I had not all these negative experiences of men ghosting me, or being inauthentic in some way, or if every time I had sex it was fabulous, I wouldn't be behaving this way at all. I'd be like, oh, I like you, let's have sex, let's see what else develops. But that's not how it ever turns out. Furthermore, I have a friend who was in a relationship with someone who just needed sex all the time because he couldn't find his own happiness. there are men who are women whose happiness depends on getting constant fuel, attention, not narcissistic supply, but attention from their partners. And I don't want to be with someone like that. When I'm looking for a relationship, I'm looking for a lot of different things. And frankly, I just don't want to have sex for free anymore. Like, I just have felt so used by guys. You know, there have been so many times I had sex with a guy and then he just blew me off. So I don't want that to happen again. So I want to make sure the guy likes me for me before I have sex with him, or he can pay me. That way I don't care. I want to get something out of it. And frankly, if all I get out of sex is just sex itself, I feel used. I do. Because, why do I feel used? Okay, because when I'm having sex with the guy I'm hooking up with, it's because I like him. To some extent, I like him. And when we're being sexual together and affectionate together, to me, affection is my love language. So if I'm having sex with you and you're not a client, I take the affection personally. It feels personal. Sex feels personal. If it's not a client, it feels personal to me. And so when you ghost me, it hurts. I guess it would be like a guy lending me his car. Like, say we go on say I meet some guy and I'm like, can I borrow your car? I'll be right back. And I come right back, but I've trashed his car. Or I didn't replace the gas. I mean, I brought the car back. Wouldn't you take that personal? I just feel like used. It's not nice. It's not nice to have sex with me and be affectionate with me and then never talk to me again. Like, that isn't nice. And I won't allow that anymore. And because there are people who will do that, I have to wait to get to know people. If I knew the world was full of men who would see me again after they had sex with me and the sex would be amazing and satisfying, I would probably do it, but even then not, because if it's amazing, I want to see the guy again, and maybe he doesn't want to see me again, and that hurts. That hurts me, makes me sad, and makes me feel used. I suppose it would be like a man taking a woman on a vacation that he really likes, and say that dancing is his love language, and she's dancing with him, and then she just blows him off. I don't know what the equivalent is for guys. Like, you're buying a woman dinner, or a woman just using you for your money. Like, yeah, she spends time with you, but she's only with you because you're buying her things. So I guess you would feel used. Like, I would just feel used, and that's a real thing. So no. Frankly, I don't even know if I want a relationship, to be honest. I'm reading that book, The Silence of the American Housewife. Where is that? It's on the table. The Erotic Sounds of the American Housewife. And honestly, you know, getting into a relationship requires giving up a huge part of who we are. We have to give up our freedom, first of all, our sexual history. So often women give up their sexual history, they erase it. They can't tell their partner how many men they've been with because their partner won't allow it. And I did that in my marriage too. I silenced my sexuality. And I'm not gonna do that again. I just fucking refuse to ever be fucking trapped. Like, no. And relationships, there is an exchange. I give up my freedom in exchange for your comfort. Isn't there an exchange? Some of you that are in relationships, you can chime in. Monogamy isn't just monogamy going forward. It's a monopoly on me historically. Like, oh, you're the only guy I've ever been with. You're the only guy I've ever liked. That isn't reality. At the same time, I'm really turned off by these guys who relationship hop. Like, I mean, I've had more sexual partners than any man, probably, except there are some gay sluts that have had more than me, but I doubt it. I've had over 1,000 men I fucked, probably. However, when it comes to relationships, I'm a lot more choosy, and I don't respect men who are so casual about hopping into relationships. Like, don't you have standards? They'll go from relationship to relationship, each one lasting 1 or 2 years, and they never work out. Well, maybe they don't work out because you have a problem, and that's why I'm not attracted to you. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe because you don't know how to be present and you got some stuff going on. Maybe that's why I'm not attracted to you. I'm having difficulty feeling attracted to any of these guys I'm seeing online, even if they're super nice. Like, I don't feel like I want to jump this guy's bones. I want to live with this guy. I want to go on a trip with this guy. Like, I don't meet these guys and be like, oh, can't wait to ride that dick. Can't wait to meet his kids. Can't wait to have him over here for dinner. I just don't feel that way. Like, am I still avoidant, or have I just not met the right guy? Or are relationships like this stupid fucking fairy tale where we look at this person to be, you know, some kind of a solution to a problem? And I've just realized that no one is a solution to a problem. They're just a new fucking problem or a trap. And that doesn't mean I don't enjoy people in short spurts. You know, maybe I like my clients because they leave. Maybe that's what I like, is men who pay me for sex and leave. Now, supposedly that makes me avoidant. I tell you what, though, I will tell you this. I love those young guys. Okay, my ideal guy is a younger version of David Beckham. If I had a David Beckham in his 30s or 40s, I would settle down. Until it started to feel confining, then I'd be like, I am the fuck out of here. Now I feel trapped. Now I feel like you want to own me. And now if you run off with some other woman, I'm going to be jealous. Maybe I am just not cut out for dating. Dating is not fun like I had imagined. I don't want to have sex with you. You're too ugly. The sex is probably going to suck. And then you're going to want to own me. You know, and I'm going to be trapped. And my life is going to go downhill into a funnel. See, right now, it seems like, and those of you guys who are in a relationship, it probably seems like single people have this wide open world of potential partners. But none of these people are really that exciting to be with, to be honest. It's so funny, when I was married, I thought, if I ever get divorced, it'll be so easy to find a new man. So right before I left my husband, I was thinking, okay, I am going to wait at least 2 years to have a man, because it's good for people to spend some time alone before they get into their next relationship. So I will date lesbians for 2 years, and then I will start looking for a man. And a man to date will be easy to find, because when I go shopping for my family at the grocery store, there are always attractive men at the deli counter, and all I have to do is start a conversation with one. And other dads at my kids' school were attractive and handsome, and some of them are single. So maybe, you know, a guy like that. There's so many single people. I imagined this huge availability of single people. And maybe even once men found out on my social media that I was single, they would approach me, they would want to date me. And so I would just be pushing them away until the 2-year mark came. That was my fantasy. So if you're in a relationship and you have that fantasy, wake up, wake up, wake up. That is not how it works. Because now that when I was actually single, I didn't just think any guy at the deli would do. I was like, do I like this guy? And I start realizing some of them had baggage, some of them had erectile dysfunction, some of them sucked in bed, some of them were alcoholic, some of them were like too chubby, some of them, you know, didn't really care what a woman wanted, some of them would have sex and ghost you, like all these personalities. And I had grown up so freaking sheltered. I didn't have enough experience with friends and with dating to know that finding someone compatible takes a long time. There are people who've been single for 10 years or more and they finally found someone they meshed with and then it was easy. So maybe that'll happen with me. I don't know. There's either something in my way or I just haven't met the right guy. But I tell you, if I met a really hot guy, I don't know. I used to really hunger for really good sex, and I don't even hunger for that anymore. You know, part of me has just stopped thinking it was possible or stopped wanting it. And as I've become older, the men in my age group have become less and less attractive as they get older, because to be attractive as we get older, we have to really nurture our aliveness, to keep an open heart. And that's what I'm working on now, keeping my heart more open because it's a little closed. Staying fit and healthy, you know, leaner people always look better than chubby people. Being healthy and having good energy, having things that we're excited about, keeping our muscles flexible so we're not all rigid and tight, you know, not serious, like happy, joyful. And as life goes on and people stress builds up or their disappointments build up, they can become more guarded, more rigid. Like I remember seeing guys at the gym, they were like riding their bikes or doing push-ups, but they were everything was all tight and rigid. Like, are your muscles loose? Do you walk with a strong, healthy gait? Like, I need all that. And that's why I love those young guys. I think what I really want, if I'm honest with you, what I really, really want is like a 2-year romance with a younger man. He would be enjoyable to look at, the sex would be great, he would be fun. And those younger men are so appreciative of an older woman because we are more confident, we know what we want, there isn't all that drama or that people pleasing. He's not going to want to try to tie me down because we know it's temporary. I would feel really free. I could keep doing my job. We would have really great sex. And if he's in his 30s or 40s, he would be so great with my grandson and everything. I did meet like this really hot guy in his 40s on Bumble. I love tall, lean guys with tattoos and beards, like a Navy SEAL guy or a martial arts guy or something like that would be like so awesome for me. That's what I really want right now. That's what I really, really want. And with someone like that, I could desire him sexually right off the bat. So when I see a guy like that, I desire him sexually right off the bat. I might not have sex with him right away just because I would want to get to know him a little bit first. I think there's value in that, developing a little bit of a friendship first. But the whole time I would be thinking, I can't wait to fuck this guy. So someone said I should charge for these videos, but I tell you, these videos are my therapy. These videos, this channel is solely for me to have someone to talk to. And I'm not even promoting my coaching business on here. I have it in the description of every video. However, I'm not promoting my coaching business right now because I'm in a process. And I feel like once I get through this process and figure out the relationship thing for me and get some clarity around that, maybe then I'll feel ready to offer coaching programs. This channel, I don't monetize my videos. This channel is just a way for me to, like, I have an idea, I want to just share it. It's not a gift to you. It's solely for me being selfish, wanting to make videos. The stuff from my escort business and my porn page, I do make good money as a sex worker, and that's where people pay me. I do some free coaching. If you want coaching, send me an email through my website, thetreasurewithincoaching.com, and I'll see if I want to work with you. And these videos are just for me. one more thing I want to say. I realized that when I fell in love with my husband year 22, it was because I had first fallen in love with myself by going to 12-step women's meetings. I just remember how my heart was so opened, and I was just so happy all the time, and I was hugging everyone. I was even hugging like my dental hygienist. I remember my ex-husband told me before I went on a job interview, now don't hug him. You remember to shake his hand, don't hug him. People will think it's weird because I was hugging everyone. And because I was so in love with life and hugging everyone, I transferred that love onto him. And that's why the last 3 years I was in love with him. It wasn't that he did anything, it was that I had changed. And I want to get to that place again. The only thing is, I can't go to those 12-step women's meetings because I'm not an addict, I'm not an alcoholic. And so I would feel like an imposter going there, but I crave like this open space where we can just talk the way I'm sharing with you, to be in a group of other women or even men and women sharing like this so openly, is really nourishing. And when I'm just sharing with you, it's nice, but it's not as nourishing as when I'm in a group of other people sharing in the same way. I've never found a place other than 12-step meetings where this kind of sharing happens. It doesn't happen in church. It doesn't happen anywhere else. Church is full of masks. You know, even a lot of people's marriages are full of masks. I can't say this, I can't say that. And I'm yearning for a place where people are honest and open. I do drink. I'm not going to stop drinking or smoking weed to go to these 12-step meetings. So maybe I should go anyway. I don't know. If any of you have any suggestions for me about places where people share honestly in a group, or, you know, if you think relationships can be fulfilling without being constricting, and freedom, you know, anything I said on this video, please, or anything you want to share, or if you want coaching or something, you know, leave a message or reach out to me, because we all learn from each other, you know. And thank you for watching my video.